All right. So, hey guys, welcome. As you guys can't tell by the slides, my name is Brandon, last name Lamb. That is me. Yeah, I guess before we start, I'd like to open us in a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I just want to thank you for this amazing opportunity you've given me. Never in my life would I thought that I would be in a position where I could preach your word to this extent and be able to just highlight you through my own life as well as what I've learned throughout the years, Lord. I pray that as we talk and we spend this time, that you use me as your tool, Lord. Let not my words come out of my mouth, but yours, because we all know that's not going to end well with my phrasing choice. Yeah, Lord, I pray that you just come into this room and just fill this place with your Spirit, Lord. In your Son's name I pray. Amen. Yeah, so intro number 2. Hi, guys, again. So I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about identity. And so it's not super fitting for me to talk about it if I don't really talk about myself a little more. So here's a little bio. I was born in a town maybe like an hour away from here. Technically I was born in Quincy, but I've lived in Braintree my whole life. And no, we don't have trees in our brains or brains in our trees. It's a weird name I never really understood. I'm here studying robotics and mechanical engineering as a senior at this point. Unfortunately for you guys, I'll be here again next year, so you can't get rid of me, sorry. Some of my hobbies are like playing a lot of games. If you guys have ever been over our place, we have this like gigantic pile of board games and tabletop games and video games and stuff, so it's a pretty sweet time. Yeah, and pretty sure if my spirit animal is a sloth. Like, if you guys don't know, that's like my natural state of being. I guess some other facts I can throw on are I regularly watch and enjoy anime, and and Stitch is like my bae. So both my Stitches, they're pillow pets. Okay, technically 3 now, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so yeah, that's a little bit about me. And here's my family. So I born to my lovely parents. You know, my dad on the left, yes, the left, and then my mom on the right. And then next to me, between me and my dad, is my sister. Sorry, I'm blanking a little bit. Not that she's my sister, because I know that. But anyway. Yeah, so, you know, we're a pretty normal family, I'd like to say, except I'd like to think probably I'm the little more awkward one. So, yeah, that's me and my sister trying to take a selfie while having a picture taken of us. Yes?
This is in Macau?
Yes, this is in Macau, actually. Well, we're on our family vacation, in case you guys are interested. Anyway, even though I feel like I'm the most awkward one in the family, which is quite fine at this point in life, I'd like to think I've picked up a little bit. This is my mom, you know. We're just posing casually with the statue. To be fair, I did the exact same thing before she got there. So, yeah, I'd like to think my family's a little bit kind of quirky sometimes, and that's okay. That's kind of like how I became who I am. So I have a question for you all. It's a little rhetorical because I'm not really expecting an answer, but how are we often defined by? If we're talking about identity, there's got to be a way people actually define that identity. So throughout my experiences, I've kind of put together 3 different points of ways people determine our identity. The first one, by our appearances. So yeah, I mean, there are a lot of different ways people can interpret this, whether it's by gender, by age, by height, by race, and however you wear. For example, in high school, I was known as that guy who always with a scarf and a hoodie. Didn't think the scarf was appropriate for this talk, but it was, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so one thing that I was struggling a lot with when I was younger is identity for me by race. I was born to I'm a first generation Chinese American here. Yeah. So that kind of, you know, leads to some questions. Like, am I Chinese? Am I American? Which am I? And you know, there was always a time I always thought about this, and that was during the Olympics. Right. So this is when all the nations come together, as you guys know, and like, you know, they compete and whatnot. So in my mind, it's like, who do I root for? I'm Chinese, but I'm also American. Do I root for the USA team because I live here, or do I root for the Chinese because I'm Chinese? So that's a question I always had to answer for myself. Am I Chinese? Am I American? Can I be both? At this point in life, I'd like to say I am both. You'll find that if you go to China as an American-born Chinese, they will quickly realize you are not one of them. And then if you come to America as a Chinese person, you'll quickly realize you are not American. So we're kind of like in the middle. That's okay. That's something that people in time can, you know, get over or figure out. So another way that people often identify or define other people and themselves is through actions, right? For example, how many of you guys have heard of Mark Zuckerberg? Yeah, I'd be surprised if you guys hadn't. So what's one big thing he did, right? We'll fact check you later on that one. But the biggest thing that we know, that he's most known for, is Facebook, right? That's
married to Priscilla.
That is true. Actually, fun fact, his wife's sister went to my high school. And we were in the same orchestra together. Anyway, tangent aside, yeah, our actions often define us, right? More often than not, we like to think the achievements define who we are. For Mark Zuckerberg, that may have been creating Facebook. One thing that my family has always told me is, my parents have always told me, do whatever you do to the best of your ability. And so that's really grown into me and kind of been like hammered in. My family was very big into the whole actions mean a lot more than words, especially because there was a slight language barrier when we were younger. I mean, I know Cantonese, but not to the extent that they know it. So yeah, so actions definitely spoke louder in my house than words. So because of that, they always told me, do whatever you do to the best of your ability. They're okay if you fail, as long as you're doing your best. For example, they'd be like, oh, you're playing video games. Make sure you do that to the best of your ability. You're doing homework. Make sure you do that to the best of your ability. Clearly, I did one better than the other. But it's okay, because I was doing my best. And I was, in that sense, trying to honor my parents through my actions and all the things that I was doing. And no, they don't actually have a fortune cookie with this on it. I'd be impressed if they did. I'd have to screenshot it to them. Anyway, a third way that I found that people identify themselves and others is through misfortunes. Oftentimes you hear about those stories, and I still have yet to find one because I forgot to look it up last night. But there are people in this world that you know who have actions that they've done and it hasn't turned out well, and that's what they're known for. One thing that I can recall is back when I was younger, we had like a family group. And so they always, there was always like, you could always categorize the groups of kids, right? So one of them was like the troublemaker family, right? They were always known for coming over to people's house and like something always ends up breaking. So that's like how one example of how people are defined by that. For me, it was a little bit different. My family knew me for this one misfortune for a little bit. Jeans. You might ask, what does this have to do with anything? So, in front of my house, there's these two little stone steps. And imagine me being younger and shorter and probably a little bit fatter. Yeah, so I one day decided it was smart. Hey, let me just, you know, the fastest way down these stairs is just to jump. So I did. As you can imagine, I'm telling this story under the misfortune title, that it didn't end up very well. I hit the floor with my knees and my jeans got all ripped and everything. And you know, my parents decided to teach me a very important lesson. And let me tell you how they did that. They took my pair of jeans, they bought a nice frame, they put the jeans in the frame, and hung the frame in my room.